IGN is fucking stupid. I know that's a wild way to open the video, but I'm sorry, they're fucking stupid. I don't think I need to explain to a lot of people what IGN is, but if you don't know, they're basically a company that focuses on a ton of pop culture things, but they got their start in gaming related stuff. The G in IGN stands for gaming. But as a lot of people know, they're not really exclusive to gaming anymore, and they haven't been for a long time. They review a lot of things like movies, shows, and they, I guess, focus on new stuff too related to movies and shows, and just sort of like pop culture overall, like I said. But I don't know what it is. The last few, maybe like 2 years, IGN seems to have been rage baiting people with their reviews specifically on movies and TV shows, and just giving them very awful reviews. If you look at a lot of their past reviews for very critically acclaimed movies and TV shows, they are just giving the worst reviews known to mankind. Like, for example, the Penguin TV show, one of the most popular and well-received TV shows of 2024. It's won awards, it gave Colin Farrell an Emmy. It was just an amazing TV show. Like, if you look at the top shows of 2024, every list will have the Penguin at least in the top 5, or the majority of lists. It was just a fantastic show, even outside of the superhero genre. Now, what do you think IGN gave the Penguin? A 5? Listen, I would have called a fucking 7 insane, because that show was amazing, but a 5? What are we doing here? Now, I'm not gonna go over the entire review they have for the Penguin, you can look it up yourself, but to make things short, they basically say that the Penguin, or Oswald Cobb, is a weird character to have a TV show surrounded around him, and also it's entertaining, but a mess of a show. Which, if you've seen the show, is just not true at all. Like, I get we're all for opinions, but that's just not true. What? This review is so bad, I am genuinely, like, expecting to see it's written by Sophia Falcone herself. Because, like, how? How? Now, another review that I want to talk about with IGN has to do with the movie, and this was also just such a mind-bogglingly weird review, and that's their review of Transformers 1. Now, Transformers 1 is an animated Transformers film that came out last year, and it was released to very good reviews. Everyone was on board saying, like, yeah, this is probably the best theatrically released Transformers film. Like, that's not a crazy take at all. It was well written, it was funny, and it set up sequels, which we're probably never gonna get because Paramount horribly marketed this film and it didn't make any money. I'm sorry. Which is so annoying because Transformers 1 is genuinely so fucking good and one of my favorite movies from last year, but that's besides the point. The main point is, even though not a lot of people saw it, it was still very well reviewed. IGN gave it a 5.
I want to put IGN in chains and march him through the mine so everyone can see him for the fuck company that he is.
Let me read how insane this review is. I'm gonna read a specific part from this review. Despite the efforts of its impressive voice cast and a standout performance from Brian Tyree Henry, okay, cool, this animated origin story rarely shows anything more than meets the eye. What? Did we watch the same movie? I'm not even that massive of a Transformers fan, and I thought the movie was fantastic. What movie did they watch? But again, I don't want to get too off topic because the topic of discussion that I want to talk about here is their review for the finale of... This is sort of what solidified my opinion on IGN, where I genuinely think they're purposely rage baiting with these reviews. Because there is no way that the person that wrote this review is like a real person or is genuinely serious. Because if they are, they might have an IQ of like fucking 72. Like, I'm sorry, it's insane. Now, before we get to the IGN review, if you've been watching and sort of been keeping up with the fandom and everything like that, you know that the last, I guess, 3 episodes were some of the best episodes in the entire show, and this last episode was probably the best episode in the entire show. It was such a standout to the point where it even held a 10 out of 10 on IMDb for a few hours. I think eventually the review bombers came in and it's down to a 9.9, but a 9.9 still puts it up there with some of the best reviewed episodes of TV period, not just animation, TV shows period. This episode was so good that it quite literally fixed the one problem that has, and that's the animation.
That's what I'm talking about. This shit means something to me, man.
The whole episode looked fucking incredible, and everyone was genuinely just jaw-dropped by this episode. Everyone is praising. Here is what IGN said. An emotionally loaded season ends on its first outright bad episode? I don't think has any outright bad episodes, but there's an episode where he has to fuck the Queen of Atlantis, who looks like Fish Stick from Fortnite. And this episode's worse than that. Now you can read the full review online for yourself if you want, but I will warn you, it is just filled with brain dead take after brain dead take, which makes literally zero sense and feels like it's written by someone who has never watched anything in their fucking life. That's genuinely how it feels. Like, I'm not joking. For example, one of the first complaints that they make in the review is not only have we never seen Conquest prior to last week's closing moments, he's also devoid of any real ideology. Claiming to love only death and destruction makes him a useful foil to Mark, but as an exclamation point on season 3. He's a giant shoulder shrug with little connection to anything meaningful with... What? He's from the Viltrumite Empire. Mark is a Viltrumite. That's the connection. What did you want? And this fight narratively is just supposed to be a complete mirror of the season 1 fight with Omni-Man. I don't think I need to explain that. Like, this is just an insanely worse version of Omni-Man. While Omni-Man held back because Mark was his son, Conquest is not holding back at all. And yeah, he's a villain who's somewhat one note, I guess you could say. He's more of a force of nature. This is nothing new in media. In fact, this is one of my favorite tropes. This is one of the tropes that's just kind of fucking awesome, to be honest. Like, a character that seems completely unstoppable, but the character, the main character, always pushes through and is able to stop them. That's a cool concept. This is not specific to Invincible. This happens in, like, everything. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, it feels like the person who wrote this has never seen anything. All in all, the final number score they give to this finale is a 4 out of 10, which is an all-time low for Invincible episodes reviewed by IGN. But yet, on every other fucking site, it is the highest rated episode. This is what I mean when I say that IGN has to be purposely rage baiting. Now, it is important to note that IGN isn't just like a company that they get a bunch of people together and they all collectively decide on a review. They get individual people to review individual things, so that's why it could seem inconsistent at points. But still, it's happened quite a few times to the point where I'm like, no, this has got to be on purpose. Like, they want to cause controversy because there's no way. There's just simply no way. And to be honest, it's kind of sad because IGN used to be a very well-respected company overall, if I'm not mistaken. But I personally think at this point, they should just stick to gaming reviews and gaming news and stuff like that, because like that aspect I find to be like not that bad. Like sometimes they have bad takes, but sometimes, or for the most part, I feel like it's decent takes. It's not the worst. But their movie and show opinions and takes have just been so incredibly inconsistent and just mind-bogglingly weird. Worst episode? Like, that has to be rage baiting. They have to, like, but this is a major company. That's the weirdest part about it. Like, it's like, I'm thinking it has to be rage bait, but like, what the fuck? Sorry, like genuinely what? But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it. It's been a while since I posted. It's been a couple weeks, I think. Sorry about that. I got caught up with a lot of things, but I'm gonna go back to a more consistent posting schedule or whatever, even though I just started on YouTube. You know what I mean. But yeah, just the normal things. If you like the video, consider subscribing, liking the video, commenting. I always say this, and I'll constantly say this. If you want to comment something, even if it's controversial, please comment it, because all I want to do is improve for the viewers. Yeah, I guess my final verdict is IGN needs to shut the fuck up. But yeah.